The Seattle Seahawks are taking on their second NFC North team, coming off a loss against the Green Bay Packers at home. They have relinquished their division lead. On the other hand, the Minnesota Vikings are now just one game back of the Detroit Lions for first place in the NFC North. Can the Seahawks rebound coming off that loss at home to Green Bay?
Depends on Geno Smith's health. That's what it comes down to. I know he's hobbled. He had some issues there with his knee, I think, or whatever it was. The answer is I don't think so. I think the Vikings are going to be too much for the Seahawks. Seahawks are good. Seahawks have a lot to play for. They're still in the mix for the NFC West. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Geno Smith's health. Can they score touchdowns? I mean, you got DK Metcalf, you got Smith and Jigba. I think losing Kenneth Walker for a while has really hurt them. And I just think the Vikings defense is legit. They've showed some signs of like a little bit of instability here and there, but going into this game, they've got everything in the world to play for right now. And I just think the Vikings are going to be too much on defense for this Seattle Seahawks offense. They're just struggling scoring points.
They are struggling scoring points. And it seems like the NFC West, like in the end zone when they have like 4 cans of soup racing and one gets tripped up and then the other one takes the lead and then he falls down and the other one comes up and catches them from behind. That is the NFC West. Every time a team takes a lead in the NFC West, they end up losing a few games in a row, relinquishing that title. Who is the favorite, AQ, in the NFC West right now?
It's got to be the LA Rams, in my opinion. I think, honestly, the LA Rams are a team that if you're an NFC team, you do not want to see these guys in the playoffs. They can literally beat everybody. Matthew Stafford is exceptional. He's elite. He can win every game. Cooper Kupp, Nakua playing at a super high level. They're running for over 100 yards. They are playing at a very high level at the right time going into the playoffs. If they can stay healthy, watch out for the LA Rams. The Seahawks team, they can also come alive, but I just don't think they make as much noise in the playoffs as the LA Rams.
All right, I'm going to preface this, Jay. Don't get your panties in a bunch right now. I'm going to make this one statement, and then you can freak out on it at will. You're a big advocate on you just got to play your schedule. You just have to beat the teams that are on your schedule. The best win for the Seattle Seahawks comes week 1 against a rookie Bo Nix. That is the only quality win. Quality in terms of record. I'm not saying the other teams aren't good, Jay, before you freak out. What do the Seahawks have to do to prove that they are worthy of being in the playoffs? Or is that one Broncos win enough to show you that they are a real contender?
Well, they swept Arizona. Your boys from Arizona, the Kyler Murray-led Arizona Cardinals and the James Conner Superman Cardinals. I mean, I don't know how that happened. If they didn't sweep them, they'd be 9-5 right now. The Cardinals would be in first place. So they're a pretty good team. Anyway, I'll tell you what, Seattle has been up and down. Early in the season, they started out hot. Then they lost a few games in a row. They lost some key defenders. They got some of those guys back. They had some wins and losses. They're up and down all year long. I don't know what to make of Seattle. I love the coach. I love Coach McDonald. I think he's a great defensive football coach. Does a lot of good things. I feel like they should be awesome on offense. I mean, they got DK. They got Lockett. They got Smith and Jigba. They got Zach Charbonnet. They got Kenneth Walker III. We need you back, Kenneth. Offensive line, I feel like, man, they get off the ball sometimes so nice. Continuity, I mean, together. And then other times the guy goes the wrong way, guy gets run over. I can't make out the consistency level of Seattle. That's their problem. But they are 8-6. I know they haven't beat a lot of great teams, but they played a lot of good games, a lot of good football, a lot of bad football, just up and down. They have the Vikings, Bears, and Rams left. Obviously, this is a huge game for them this week. If they can get this Vikings game, they'll have a Bears team who's reeling. They don't know who the coach is, calling plays, defenses. They're all over the joint. And then they'll finish with the Rams probably for the division title. So they need this one. It'll be a great game, but they got to find out some consistency. That's all. That's what every team's looking for. It's easier said than done, but they have the players to do it. They just got to go out and do it.
Speaking of the players that can do it for the Seattle Seahawks, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. Who has the better receiver duo? Obviously, we think Justin Jefferson's the best in the league.
It's not even close. You're like saying soups are racing around the field.
Shut your mouth, Jay.
I've never seen a soup race before.
You've never seen like the cans of soup racing in the end zone?
No, I've seen hot dog racing the hamburger or whatever.
Hot dog race. You know what I meant, cans of soup. It's whoever the sponsor is. These two guys aren't cans of soup. What makes Justin Jefferson the best receiver in football, Colt? And then let's give a little love to DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba. They're pretty good duo, right? Are they the second best duo in football?
You got Waddle and Hill. Don't forget about those two.
Yeah, they're playing great, Jay. Good call.
Thanks.
I mean,
AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I get you.
but one thing is
Now you went from first place to 14th place in a minute.
Shut up for a second and let Colt answer it.
I think you got Pittsburgh beat. You got Pittsburgh beat so far.
Cooper Kupp, Nakua, they're okay.
What makes Justin Jefferson the best? And then I'm going to see if DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba are even in the rankings at all. If they're even, are they 32nd then? Maybe we'll go from the bottom up instead of the top down.
Metcalf and Smith and Jigba are really good. Like, let's not get that twisted. But Justin Jefferson is the best in the NFL. I've never seen anybody be able to like weave and bend, contort his body in routes, and then when the ball's in the air, be able to make a play on it no matter what. He's elite. And Kevin O'Connell does a great job of getting Jordan Addison involved. He gets a lot of good matchups if they're going to double Justin Jefferson. I think those two guys are definitely at the top. I just want to see a little bit more, like Jay said, from this Seahawks offense. I would think they would be like explosive. Those two receivers should have at least 7 to 10 targets a game. And for whatever reason, they haven't got involved. I hate looking at the stat line and seeing DK Metcalf 3 catches for 28 yards every week. Like, that's driving me crazy. I don't know what the problem is, but I think that Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, I think this wide receiver core from Minnesota, it has helped Sam Darnold tremendously this year. That's what separates, me in my mind in this game late in the season. It's like, who's your players? Who's playing good? And right now, the weapons for Minnesota are playing better than the weapons in Seattle.
All right, Jay, so here's my question then. Who's the number one receiver in Seattle then?
I think it's Smith and Jigba right now. He's more consistent, can do more things. I just been disappointed in DK. I know his athleticism. I know his size. I just expect so much more from him. And I never expect him to have less than like 6 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. He does get doubled a lot. People do roll to him a lot, in fairness to him. I understand that. And then when he does get open, there's been times where Geno gets pressured, gets sacked, and can't get him the ball. I understand that. Why don't we just throw him like a one-step stork every now and then, a quick screen, let him run over some people?
Get him the ball in space. Run a shallow cross for crying out loud.
Maybe he's not as elusive as we think. I know he's big and powerful, but maybe elusiveness is not his forte. So I've just been disappointed in him, but I love Smith and Jigba. He can do a lot of things in the slot, the option routes and things of that nature, but that's just my preference. I mean, DK is a great player. Don't get me wrong. I just think I'd rather have Smith and Jigba.
All right, so let me do this real quick. A great season for a receiver's 2,000 yards. Like, you'd be breaking records. We want to get 2,000 subscribers this week. So right now, hit the subscribe button. Tell us who the best receiving duo in the NFL is. Is it Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Is it Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison? Is Gruden an idiot? Or Pugh's an idiot?
That would be a good one.
Hit like, hit notify, drop a comment, and let's keep it moving to the next segment of this show. AQ, with a win, the Vikings can tie the Lions atop the NFC North. When looking at the two teams, how do you compare the Vikings to who many people believe is the best team in the league in the Detroit Lions?
If you were to ask me this question 6 weeks ago, we could say Detroit is the best team in the league. Detroit has lost their entire defense. They just lost McNeil and Carlton Davis, which basically rounds out their entire defense. They are going to have a hard time, and it's a shame because they are the best football team this year. But the problem is, when you lose your entire defense, they might be out. Like, they might not win a playoff game now at this point. And that's the crazy thing to think about. Ben Johnson and that offense, phenomenal. No question about it. What you have to do is be the best football team that stays the healthiest, the longest, and gets the luckiest. That's what it all comes down to. And I think Detroit, say what you want, they're getting screwed a little bit this year with all these injuries, and they're going to miss out on a window to have possibly won it. Having said all that, the Vikings, very good. Sam Darnold ain't going to win it, and their offensive line is not going to win it for them. They're going to have issues there. They run it sometimes. They're inconsistent in the run game. I love their defense. They're as good as any defense in the league at staying on track, winning on first down, winning on second down, getting you into third and uncomfortable situations. And that is why they win games. When you have that, you have a chance to win games. I just think in the playoffs, every game's tight. It's going to come down to one play here, one play there, and I'm not so sure Sam Darnold makes that play.
Well, let's go to the king of the North, Jay Gruden. He is the NFC North liaison.
Thank you.
Jay, when your team is beat up like this, you're the Lions. Dan Campbell went on the radio today and he said, adversity is good for a team. He dropped F-bombs on the radio.
But we can't let these injuries be in vain, man. All of those players helped us get to the point we're at. They helped us these last 4 helped us get to 12 wins. And we owe it to them to finish this thing out. And that's how I view it. And so it means there's another opportunity for other guys. You know what happens is, you win 11 in a row, and you lose, and then the sky falls. And I hate to say it, but we're not going to be able to win 11 in a row again for the rest of this season. We're just not going to be able to do it. And, what happens is you get used to eating filet, and I'm talking to all of us, and everything's good. Life's good, but you forgot what it was like when you had nothing and you ate your folded bread.
He's saying this is what the Lions, this is what we need. Not that they need injuries, but they need to face some adversity, and they want to get this taste out of their mouth. What do you tell your team if you're Dan Campbell?
He's exactly right. That's the only thing you can't tell them. You got to build their confidence somehow. You can't play the woe is me card. Oh, my God, we're losing everybody. What are we going to do, fellas? Let's hug. Let's say a prayer. No, hell no. It's next man up. Let's fucking bite some ankles. Excuse my language. Let's bite some ankles and bite some kneecaps, like he said in his opening press conference. Whoever's on the field, this is our mentality. This is how we're going to play. That's his only approach. Will it work? Hell no. They got no chance. They can't stop anybody.
So Dan Campbell just straight up lying to all of us.
No, I mean, he's not lying. In his heart and his mind, he really believes he can get this out of their players. I just don't think those players can produce the way they need to produce in a National Football League big game to win against the likes of a Minnesota Vikings or Green Bay Packer team that they're going to have to face eventually. So it's just so hard. I mean, just think, how good would Ben Johnson be? Answer me this, Justin. If Jared Goff, Montgomery, Gibbs, Laporta, Sewell, Ragnow, St. Brown, and Jameson Williams all got hurt and weren't playing, what do you think their point total would average? About 2.2? That's what I think. Yeah, that's what Aaron Glenn's dealing with right now. I think he's done a phenomenal job of keeping this team just competitive at all with the amount of injuries they've had. So hats off to them. I think they'll compete. They have offense, like you said, to stay in football games, but eventually they're going to have to get some stops. Hopefully Aaron Glenn can come up with a dial a blitz up or get a forced fumble, maybe force a couple holding calls. I don't know. Something maybe. Who knows?
Maybe not kick onside kicks with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's the other issue. I think when Dan Campbell says that, yeah, we got faith in all these defensive guys, do you? Why are you kicking an onside kick with 10 minutes to go in the game? Maybe you don't have confidence in your defense, Danny. They have issues there, but hopefully they figure it out because they're such a fun team to watch. I've been pulling for them. I just hate to see this many injuries to this one side of the football.
Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.
All right, let's get back to the game. Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. Who do we got in this one? AQ, I'll start with you.
As much as I say that I don't believe in Sam Darnold, I believe in him more than I believe in Geno Smith. Period. And their offensive line is better than the Seattle Seahawks, which, again, not saying much, but they are. And defensively, they're better. They're better just in all three phases that I think is going to be important to winning this game. I go Minnesota Vikings.
I like the fact that Kevin O'Connell went a little more physical last night against the Bears. Some more ground and pound. They did a nice job running the football against the Bears defense, which I think adds another element to their offense moving forward. The play actions with Sam Darnold are pretty good with Addison and Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson. These are three dynamic players now. I mean, three unbelievable players. Now they're going to Seattle. Tough road game. I'm taking Seattle. I think Seattle will get it done in a close game. I know I love the NFC North. I get it.
You're such a flip-flopper.
I'm just banking on the fact this is going to be one of their up games. The crowd's going to be raucous. It's going to be loud. And Geno's going to make enough plays. And DK, come out to play. DK, come out to play. He needs 3 or 4 big plays from that big son of a gun. Get Njigba going. Maybe lock it on a high post over the top. Take a Seattle. Upset. Let's go.
He wants to hype up the NFC North just to go with the opposite.
Do you want me to take the Vikings now? I can flip-flop.
All right, so we have one Vikings. We have one Seattle. Colt, who do you have?
Jay, were you trying to make a play on the Burger King commercial?
Yeah. DK, have it your way.
Names and jingles are not his specialty. Don't ask him for either one.
Okay, Soup Race.
Late in the season, what they're playing for, how they're coached. Seahawks is a tough place to play. It's going to be loud and crazy. The Packers went in there and dropped 30 points on them. I think the Vikings are just too much. I think the Seahawks on the flip side do have a ton to play for too. They're right in the mix for winning the division. But at the end of the day, Justin Jefferson's going to go for over 100 yards. He's complimented by Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson and Aaron Jones, and that offensive line is playing a little bit better. They can win in multiple ways. And even if Justin Jefferson is doubled Throw it to him. Find ways to get him the football. I just think they're too much for the Seahawks.
I agree. I'm going Vikings. I mean, you guys said it all. Minnesota Vikings. They're going to be doing the gritty. Jay, can you do the gritty for us, Jay Gruden?
I'm just giving you a chance to come back, you guys. So I'm taking the team that you guys won't take, and I'm going to pull away. So these picks won't even matter the last couple of weeks. I'll be so far in front of you morons. It's not even be close.
Thank you. You're like Santa Claus. We appreciate you.